Hi, good evening to all of you guys. Vikesh, Venkat, Barry, Srujan. So Barry, you seems to be an NRI. Are you NRI? Vivek, Bhavya, sorry. So am I audible, guys? Okay, I'm audible also, visible also. And Barry, you're really? I was just joking. Are you joking or serious? Barry Bones. So seems to be an NRI. From which country then? So you've got, I think, great sense of humor. So let us start with analysis. Okay, so got your idea. Okay, so let us start with this analysis. 2015 Bull Cat 8. Now we are approaching near this D-Day. It's on November 29th, and eighth cat in series. We have got four more to go, Bull Cats, and 5 to 6 mock cats to go still. So I think we have prepared a lot. We have worked hard a lot this time, and hope so that you all get called from your desired dream colleges. So let us start with analysis straight away. So my first usual silly boring question is that, so what is your take on this level of difficulty? If I talk about level of difficulty from my point of view, moderate to tough, because in this exam Bullcat 8, 7 questions were tough, means difficult. Only 9 easy questions out of 34, and rest were moderate. So 18 moderate, 9 easy, and 7 difficult questions. So difficult plus your moderate questions totaled up to 18 plus 7, 25. Out of 34 questions, either 25 questions were either difficult or moderate. So one can think of the level of difficulty of this exam. So it should not surprise you and me as well that if you're not able to score well in this particular section, verbal section of this exam. So what is your take, guys? What do you have to say about? I would say that their questions were there. Passages also, one or two passages no doubt difficult, but questions were tricky. Passages were well, let's see, if I talk about length wise, they were moderate but a little tricky this time, question wise. So Bhavi, your question, my question is based on the given test only, Bullcat 8. But if you ask me the cat, real cat exam, the simple philosophy is that we divide paper into 3 equal areas. 1/3 would be easy, 1/3 moderate, and 1/3 difficult. That is very simplistic notion whenever we set the exam. So one or two questions here and there, the proportion will change. Let's say out of 1/3 moderate, if I introduce more difficult questions, then it would be more difficult paper. If I keep easy more, then it would be easy to moderate paper. So there is no hard and fast rule, but point is that simplest rule is that 1/3 paper easy, 1/3 moderate, 1/3 difficult. So that's why we say that minimum 25% should be correct at least. So nothing to worry about. Okay, let's start with the analysis. I picked a few questions to discuss with you because let's say what we have. So first passage, again a little difficult passage in terms of understanding. Yes, Preeti, good evening. Okay, I can see one number only, 12150267446. I think you were there previous occasion also. So what's your name? Seems to be very digital kind of guy. 12150. Yes, good evening. I asked, I think, previous last time also. So what's your name? Looking at your ID, I think that we all are in digital age. Whenever we meet, hello, I'm 125026746, and who are you? So I'll also say that I'm 26081970. Okay, so jokes apart. So this passage was about why do origin matters. why do origins matter? So look at the first two paragraph of this particular RC. Throughout these two paragraphs, you will not find the main idea or the main stem of the passage. First two are just example paragraphs, or you can say the example paragraphs. So nothing, just making, author was just making ground, so just to confuse you. So the main idea line was, this is where I'm moving my cursor right now. So why do origins matter so much? Now this is what he would try to answer in this passage. First 2 or 3 paragraphs, just examples. So remember 3 things, that from fact based questions we create inference based questions, and from idea lines likewise. Here we see why do origins matter so much. From idea or opinion lines we create 2 types of question. One, the central idea, second, the tone. From examples or datas we create questions like all of the following are true except, all of the following are false except. So 3 areas, 3 types are very important. 3 you can say here types of the question statements. From facts, inference. From opinion or idea lines we create central idea question or the tone questions, and from example question or database questions we create direct questions. So from here the story would start. Rest 3 were examples only. So why do origins matter so much? Then he talks about the sociology behind this, a psychology behind this, that how come we try to identify ourselves with the origin or identify other parameters as well. So most of the time you will see that we pick up things from TED Talks. So if you also want to increase your level of understanding regarding, because most of the time students come and ask me, sir, from where should we get different passages and different areas. So make sure that you visit this particular TED Talk, and you will find passages from examples from almost all the areas under the sun, and you will get brief write-out also, or write-ups also based on these speeches made by various speakers. So I think this is one of the very interesting platform to learn more about, because primarily keep this in mind that CAT and Z2 top level exams are your RC driven, reading driven, and rest other are non-RC areas driven, or we can say grammar, vocabulary, etc. driven. So you want to get into a good B school through CAT or ZAT, you need to really sharpen your reading skills, and you need to include variety also. So TED Talk is one of the interesting platforms, where one can learn a lot from different areas. So let's talk about the questions. So as using the passage, what does the philosophy of essentialism? Now essentialism, you need to just go to the line where you will find this word. Here I think he has mentioned, many sociologists argue the reason that why do we take origins so seriously is because we are snobs. Snobs means snobbery means kind of attitude where you feel that you possess this thing and this is not possessed by any other. So kind of arrogance you show, because we focus on status. It is always better to own an original than a forgery, because there are always going to be fewer original than forgeries. I do not doubt that plays some role, but I'm convinced that all humans are natural born essentialists. So we don't just respond to things as we see them or feel them or hear them, rather our response is conditioned on our beliefs. So this is an important line. I think question was very easy. If you just went through these lines during the exam also, could have answered this question. So let's go through the choices even. Any response is conditioned on hidden nature of the things. We are not talking about the hidden nature. So this is first is gone because of this. Our responses are based on our learned reactions, one of the sides of the story. Any work of art, two necessary properties, meaning and its representation in tangible form, may or may not be there. So we are not talking, this is not actually highlighting, option 4 is not anywhere near to essentialism. Essentialism is what we see them, hear them, the like we see them, hear them, or feel them. We have got our own ways of analyzing any particular thing, means we use our own filters. Yes, Bhavya, it is 3. So I picked up this question. There's no point in finding the answer right now. I picked up this question just to take you to those lines that from how we create questions. Essentialism is one of the philosophies where you try to see the thing whatever you perceive about that particular thing. So our beliefs and what they really are, what they come from, what they are made of, and what their hidden nature is. So one of the aspects, hidden nature, not exactly. So philosophy of essentialism refers to so option third, why not to Amrita? So hearing you after a long gap, Amrita. So it is not about learned reaction. It is not about based on a learned reaction to the circumstances. We are not talking about any circumstances here. There are no circumstances being mentioned here. So we try to go by whatever we believe about that thing. So what is the tone in the sentence? You guess again. Let's say Bullcat 8 now. Bullcat 9 is already, I think, on the way. It's going on, I think. Bullcat 9. So how many of you have taken Bullcat 9? Okay, Barry, you have taken. Seem to be very serious. I think I'm seeing you for the first time. So from where are you? No, Vivek, no. Barry, you have taken. So we cannot discuss much about Bullcat 9. So what is your perception? So is it difficult or easy, moderate to difficult, or can be managed easily? So Barry, your take on Bullcat 9. Just easy, moderate, difficult. I'm talking about the verbal section only. Bhavya, you are also taken. Bhavya, moderate. Barry, tough as usual. Okay, verbal section. Bhavya is saying moderate. Okay. Amrita is smiling. No comments. Venkat. Okay, you're my student, Venkat. I think you're the same guy, Venkat, in one of my batches. Okay, Venkat. So you committed many blunders. So it depends upon the neighbors sitting around in the test center. Okay, just joking. So we should not commit silly mistakes while taking any exam or mock or real CAT. So point is that you need to analyze your performance, that what kind of mistakes you are committing. Are we committing mistakes based on concepts, or are we committing technical mistakes, non-technical mistakes? What exactly we are committing? I think we discussed this point previously also, that I think you were going too fast or you attempted too many questions, if I remember. Yes, Barry, to all of you guys, verbal with the first part. The order would be now verbal, then DI, and finally third, I think at third position you will find quant, mathematics. But I will again recommend that do not start your verbal section with RC, because it takes time to focus. Brain will take some time, our mind takes some time to focus. So better to start with some non-RC question. Let it be sentence arrangement, let it be grammar question, let it be fill in the blanks or whatever question, summary based question, but up to you. So make sure that you attempt 1 or 2 non-RC questions, then you start with RCs, and simply do not attempt all the RCs in one go. So make sure that you take breaks, and in between breaks you attempt non-RC questions. Don't worry about grammar much, because most at the max you will find 1 or 2 questions. So don't worry about the grammar. Okay, so what is the tone of the sentence? He looked as if for the first time he had discovered that there was evil in the world. So there he is primarily criticizing the world, because he bought something which was a kind of forged item, spurious item, not genuine. So irony, there is not irony. Irony means something positive will lead to something negative will lead to something positive. So irony is strictly out of, it cannot be envious. He was not feeling envious of something or anybody. Cynical is skeptical, he was doubtful of. It was not doubtful, it's making mockery of. So if we know the meaning of the word sardonic, would have attempted this question. So did you get this question correct, guys? So again, I picked up this question just to remind you that so whenever you come across any tone, please make sure that you know its dictionary meaning, because we are damn sure about this, that you do not refer to words even after the exam, and make sure that you know all the different difficult words for any particular tone, and that's how we confuse you. So okay, I'll try 69th question. So 69th was about, let me check based on the same passage, and it was about, so yeah, the question is very simple, and we have been asked, I suppose, the central idea or question in this entire passage. So author is trying to answer. I have not kept this question in this particular slideshow, but I think 69th question is in the central idea. The question, the paragraph revolves around initially where I was moving my arrow, this cursor. Let's go back to the passage. So ultimately now is the question, this question has been raised by the author in this. So why do origin matter so much? Because throughout in the rest of the paragraphs he has tried his level best to answer this particular question. He has given few convincing reasons as well. So that's why answer to the 69th was first option, Bhave. Why do we value certain things more? Because ultimately we are more interested in origin rather than value of anything. Value is one of the reasons that why origins matter a lot. Second is one of the origin is important, and the value given to this is because of is one of the reasons that origin of any particular thing is important. Okay, moving on to, I think, am I clear with this question? 70th, I picked up this question just to discuss. Okay, 68, I'll discuss 68th, Bhave, but time to move on to next question. Now 68th question, let me check. Till the time, rest of you guys just rush through 70 seconds is based on grammar. I don't think that we should worry too much about grammar, because we'll have only one or two questions, at the max 3 questions based on as per the recent trends. Okay, I just moved away from the mic, Adish Bansal. Now am I audible, guys? Press yes, especially Adish, because I moved a little away from the mic. Question number 68 is, what message does the Bell experiment give to us? This experiment was very interesting. Whenever we know that we are listening any particular celebrity or watching something made by eating something made by some chef or etc., the thing would change. Even if the thing has been cooked by some celebrity chef, and we have, generally if we are told that this has been made by some ordinary cook, so the perception would change accordingly. Everything is in mind. So the purpose of this paragraph, Joshua Bell experiment, was to tell us, to make us aware that it is all in mind. If we are told the way we think, we try to condition the thing accordingly. The same Joshua Bell, when people were told that they are hearing this or they were not hearing this particular musician, so people responded in different ways. So answer to this question was origin. Who is singing, who has cooked this, and who is coming. So that's why it can't be two. See, packaging is not about origin. Package is the wrapping of something, or packaging will not refer to origin. Is one of the aspects of origin, but not the only aspect to check origin. The entire passage actually revolved around origin. Why do origin? Because immediately after 2-3 example paragraphs he picked up, he asked this question, he raised this question in the paragraph, that how come origins are so important. So that's why. So yes, Amrita, who has asked me? Vivek, you have asked me vocabulary questions. One or two at the max. If I talk about generally, the vocabulary would be something like this. They'll be giving us one word, one verb. For example, we generally give you run, break, bought, etc. And generally we ask you to pick up to find out the incorrect usage of the given word. These are very difficult, dangerous. Until unless you have got life insurance cover with you, don't attempt these questions until unless you're damn sure about the answer. So one at the max, two question, but one minimum, but no guarantee. Less than 25% probability that you will find vocab based question if you go by the recent trends, but nothing is very specific or nothing can be said about the cat with certainty, and things can change a little, but primarily just focus on 2-3 very important things: reading comprehension, critical reasoning, summary and inference based questions. They can come, they definitely will come, and SR, sentence arrangement. Rest two elements, vocabulary and grammar, off and on they can come, they can go in the trend, but don't worry too much about the vocabulary, means idiomatic usage questions. They are actually very dangerous. If you're damn sure about the usage, please pick. So who has asked this? So Vivek, nothing to worry about vocabulary even. Focus on RCs, SR, sentence arrangement and critical reasoning. 3 areas. So Adish, Misfit, generally we take up this discussion. Misfit, I picked up this Misfit one also. But coming on to the question number 72, let us quickly finish this grammar question. And we have been asked to pick up the incorrect ones. Now first is wrong. I'll answer Vivek, Adish and Berry about this Misfit one. So first is wrong because it should be a few centuries old. A few means something. Few means practically zero. So first is wrong in this case. And second, D sentence is wrong. Chronicles. It is about plural. Subject here is plural. Chronicles like those of 18th century, etc., etc. Scribes are valuable for the remarks usually, but its usefulness, chronicles, their usefulness, it has to be there. First wrong. Absolutely smart, Amrita. First, the only option A is there in option 2. So I was just explaining this. Yes, absolutely fine. So we have to take the help from the options. We definitely should take the help from options even. It is not wise to show that we all are intelligent and knowledgeable. Absolutely fine, Amrita. You have got management aptitude, and sooner or later we'll see Amrita the CEO. Okay, and E sentence is wrong because you have to have they made a deep impression at time. So these 3 were the mistakes. So now Barry, I'll come to your question, and Adish also. I picked up I think one misfit sentence question. No doubt they are really very confusing. And coming on to question number 74, this time this is again very tricky question, and most of the people have I think most of the students got this question wrong. So somewhere in between we have to find out. Generally we'll come across para completion means we are generally asked to find out the last line, and in this particular question we have been asked to find out the line somewhere in between, line somewhere from in between has been deleted, and we've been asked to find out this. So it was Google's ambition, and then we have what was Google's ambition? To provide an answer to Adman's legendary line dash. Story is over till here. We don't know what will come. Now the next line I'm reading: to help them sort through the digital clicks. To help them. To help whom? To help these Google managers or workers or company people, etc. To help people, especially related to business world, maybe from Google or any other, help sort through digital clicks, whatever clicks we go for. Google and other new media companies relied on what are called cookies, software, etc., etc. So something like this. So Google ambition, it was Google ambition to provide answer to Adman's legendary line, and that we need to pick up the choice where you will find something legendary line. Barry, I don't understand what have you written. Time on their hand is right. Okay, so previous question. Okay. So very far-fetched, very in-depth kind of question this time we framed for you. Which of the following could be admin's legendary line? Could be admin legendary line. We have been asked admin legendary line. Now if you otherwise a kindly GK based question, we could have answered this question without even reading the passage, this given passage, because we know that Google, you'll find this to the right side, I think, yeah, right or left. Probably I am feeling lucky. Could be either A or C. I'm feeling lucky. And third says, Adish, you were saying third either could be A or 3. Yes, creative without strategy is called art, creative with strategy is called advertisement. So passage was not advertisement exactly. It was about how this can be helpful. If you keep on clicking, how clicks can help you or help marketers and other such companies knowing about the user. Yes, so I'm feeling lucky. I would say that it's kind of GK based question. Even without reading the passage, we could have answered this question. So I'm feeling lucky. And now look at the passage. Search question, web pages visited, time spent on each web, advertisement, etc., etc. Because of these cookies, Google searches improve with use, and they become more familiar with the kind of information, the user or name or address. So now relevance of this option, I am feeling lucky. Now lucky in the sense, if you click, you find something relevant, and if they scan your choices or your clicks made by you or the users, they also be lucky in knowing more about their users. So in both the parties is kind of win-win situation. I am feeling lucky. This was admin's legendary line, so the best fit. But again, 50-50% chances people could have picked up 1 also, and likewise Adish mentioned that 3 also. Now why third is little weak? Here we are explaining about the creativity. We are saying something related to the creativity. Yes, Hitesh. Okay, seeing you after a long time. We should not include. This is I'm asking. Telling you this because outside the context of this question, yes, absolutely fine. We are not supposed to bring anything from outside while solving the question, but this was something to do with Google and admin legendary line, and one of the options referred to this. But I'm explaining this, that how come third choice was wrong. So creative without, this is kind of, this cannot be line, and simply. Now very commonsensical question. We have been asking only one line, and rest 2, 3, 4 options are more than one. The only one line is first option. Got the guys? Got the answer? That only single line option was option 1. And rest, and we have got 2 or more than 2 lines. So rest in other choices, we are explaining the creativity or the purpose of advertisement. But here, how come Google used and still uses, and other companies use? So that's when. Fourth, Preeti, yes, but here we have got conjunction and, never stop testing, and your advertisement never stops improving. So yes, Adish, generally catch lines are usually short, catchy, impressive, and it's another way of asking title. Title is something based on similar lines, that it is short, catchy, impressive, and should cover the central idea. But no doubt here we are dealing with para completion question. So I am feeling lucky in the sense Google also and people also, whatever consumers want, users want, and whatever the companies are looking for. So in this, I am feeling lucky would be the legendary line. So let's move on to next question, guys. We are running short of time. Again, his passage is 77, 78, 80. Based on 67 years after independence, Indian states still struggle about such. Archaic means old. So this was about, I think passage was about that we do not give our people freedom of expression, And the irony is that Kashmiris living in Scotland can vote for Scotland, whether Scotland should be the part of Britain or European Union or not. But here in India, they cannot, even Kashmiris are not allowed to say or to express their wish or their state of mind regarding their role their say in whether they want to be the part of India or Pakistan. I should not be highlighting these two words again and again on WW World Wide Web. But point is that I was just trying to recall, and I was helping you so that you are also able to recall the passage. So passage moderate in terms of understanding, but primarily first few paragraphs again examples. So he's comparing, in first few paragraphs he has compared Scotland versus Kashmir issue, and ultimately he wanted to highlight at the heart the problem lies in the Indian practice of nationalism. So he's talking about nationalism. He has shown us, he has highlighted two phases of nationalism. One is broad level and another is private patriotism. Patriotism is your excessive attachment, obsession with your motherland, and nationalism is you think about nation as a whole rather than state or state centric or ethnic centrism. So passage was about, so make sure that whenever you read passage, keep this in mind, that you will come across example paragraphs, you will come across factual paragraphs. The point is that we need to be extra careful about idea lines or opinion lines. Private is very own idea of being patriotic and very much self-centered about your own community and still worried about. He has explained private patriotism was absolutely fine when we were fighting against British Raj here in India. So now we are an independent country, free country. So it is about nationalism, and nationalism we should give importance and weightage, and everyone should have equal say in the democratic process or democracy. So that is nationalism is all about. Private patriotism is narrow version of kind of aggressive version of nationalism. Whenever your nationality is hurt or is not identified or you are not given, then you take to this route, patriotism. Yes, patriotism, absolutely fine. Private means restricted to yourself only, will serve you and your community, not the entire nation. So it talks about, he has given the example also, for most of the part rest of the world treats its national symbols with less reverence and banter of easy familiarity. With banter of easy familiarity means jokes, something, criticism, discussion, not to be taken too seriously. In India, we are very much concerned about our national flag, national identity, national respect, and that's why we framed one question based on this particular feeling, that whenever you are singing, whenever you are watching any movie and suddenly you hear national anthem, and if you are not standing, if you do not stand immediately after you hear this national anthem, then people will try to kill you then and there. So that's what about narrow mentality shown by us. That is kind of hypocrisy also, that otherwise we show that we are very much concerned about our India, nationalism or patriotism, but when it comes to real issues, we run away, we move away from the scenes. So in other nations, they are not so worried about, even they wear clothes depicting national emblems, national flag. But here, who is Indian, what he eats, who he worships, what he accompanies. So we are talking about the freedom of expression. We do not allow people to express themselves freely. That what in this passage author tried to highlight. Very interesting passage in terms of, let's look at the questions. So what is the essence of the sentence? Who is Indian, what he eats, what he worships, what companies he keeps, what country he lives, all have little relevance in a world that no longer respect borders. So I think we all could have answered this question without reading the passage. Third is a clear-cut answer. We are global citizen first, Indian later. When we are not taking into consideration the nationalities or borders, that means we are talking about the global citizens. Third, straight away, could have answered even without reading the passage. What does author accuse Indian nationalism? Whenever we show, we all believe in narrow nationalism, and that is actually closer to patriotism rather than nationalism. And yeah, freedom of speech. We do not allow people to speak their mind. Muzzling. Do we know the meaning of, guys? Muzzling. What is a muzzling? Yes, type. Take your time and type muzzling. Had this been a vocabulary question, yeah, Bhavya, stopping or suppressing. What does author accuse Indian of? Suppressing. Suppressing, oppressing, freedom of. Yeah, Sujan, it is inhibiting freedom of speech. So what sentence the passage should encourage Indian government should go is encouraging. Now it is application based, a little common sense based question. So what sentence in the passage should encourage the Indian government to go for a referendum in Kashmir? So this was the direct question, and answer to this is second. Separatist movement in other parts of the world have only marginally succeeded. This kind of critical reasoning based question we framed in a way that it should look like a critical reasoning question. It's primarily an application of your understanding. So yeah, it is second. Separatist movements across the world have not benefited any country in getting autonomy, freedom, etc. So we should not also worry. Separatist movement, therefore, this will not succeed in this part of valley also in India. So second is the clear cut. Second was the clear cut answer. Moving on to, again, I picked up this grammar based question. So question number 84th, guys. C and E. C wrong. Okay. So we have to find out the correct ones. A, B and D are wrong. A. It has to be perspective. D. He dissected carcasses, means dead bodies after dead bodies, and peeling away the 5 separate layers of muscle, remove organs bearing veins and arteries and nerves. What's the problem with and removed? He dissected means D sentence is about parallelism. He dissected past form and removed, peeling away 5 separate layers and removing. So it has to be removing, peeling away and removing and barring. So we have to maintain parallelism. B is also easy. So do we know the, guys, do we know the meaning of the word advise? S-E ending and C-E ending? No, my question is, do we know the difference between advise and advice? Yes, C9S, not adjective but verb. Verb. Adish, it is a verb. Okay, so move on to, now this I would refer as something, difficult passage in terms of understanding, because it's kind of technical also, and it is about aging and degenerative aging and senescence. It talks about, it highlighted this. So this passage was, I would say that by the time we reach here, 86, 88th question, last 5 or 10 questions, we are completely exhausted, tired, and generally we are not able to concentrate even while reading simple passage. And in this case, this was a little difficult in terms of understanding. So respond to high, and he picked up the example of one very microorganism, that how come this microorganism or plant has survived till now. It is about senescence, aging. Yes, Preeti, advice is a noun. Noun means name of something, and se ending is a verb. For example, if I say I advised you not to go there, when any action is involved, we use se ending word. And let's say if I say he gave me an advice, I gave you an advice, they gave me an advice. So advice, name of that activity. So am I clear, Preeti? Yes, Adish. The time has come to change to modify our strategy a little, because initially when we teach you RCs, how to handle RCs, we tell you that you need to read RC first, thoroughly, honestly, completely, and then go on to the questions. Because primarily the first point is to increase your understanding level of comfort with this language. Now, after practicing enough, now my strategy would be, my recommendation, my advice to you all would be, scan at least question, not the choices, because and this method is applicable only when we have got very few questions per RCs. For example, in CAT or CAT level exam, we'll have only 3 to 4 questions per RCs. So scan questions and try to note down their keywords, whatever scrap paper we are given, and then start with the reading. At least this will objectify our reading, and we shall be more careful about whatever we are reading. Yes, questions first, all of you. Only questions, not the options. And in question you will find a keyword, try to retain keywords, then start with the reading part. Provided that, I'm assuming that you have practiced enough, and till now, if I go by my bare minimum calculation assumption, then I think till now we have should have practiced, I think you all have practiced 300 plus RCs, guys. Is my assumption correct? Till now we have gone through at least 300 RCs reading comprehension. I'm not talking about Rajma Chawal. No answers. Most of us are thinking that, sir, why not to remove the last zero? Adish, you have written 4 into 38 passages. Okay, you are multiplying all the RCs you till now faced in your mock test and CATs. Okay, great. Very good. I'm talking about the practice RCs. Okay, guys. 100, 150, honestly, and 200, 250, let's say at the max. But make sure that you, from now onwards, read at least questions carefully, then start with your reading part. At least we are very sure about whatever we are reading, and we are very objective while reading something. Great, Preeti, Adish, plus past year CATs also. Good, Adish, keep it up. Yes, guys, what about the rest of the, we have got 9 people sitting here, including me. I think you all are 8 plus 1, me, 9. Preeti, 130. Okay, let's move on to this question. Hitesh, 150 to 75. Hitesh, seeing you after a long time. So where were you? Things have changed. Bhavya decided to keep mum. Kamal, no comment. That means you two are doing fine. Okay, nothing to worry about. Jokes apart. Let's move on to the question. It is about that some sort of molecular setting is there within the structure, and they go slow. Their metabolism is very slow. As I'm just talking the gist of, because there's no time to read the entire passage this time. And while taking analysis, I assume that you come prepared with all the passages. It talks about, the gist was that these organisms try to slow down their metabolism or internal chemical processes, and they are very selfish, and they think only about themselves, and they're not worried about offsprings or kids they have to rear or raise. They're not worried about the immediate generation, next generation. They only think about themselves. That's why these organisms, microorganisms, they have survived till now, and they keep on surviving in future time also. Preeti, it would be something like 3 to 4 questions based on parajumbles. Yes, level of RCs, Adish, do fluctuate, because out of, let's say, 4 RCs, it's for sure one RC would be extremely difficult, one would be moderate, and two would be easy to moderate. So the ultimate fight would be that how many you get correct out of the difficult set. Okay. So let's move on to why do humans have difficulty in accepting existence of negative senescence. Negative senescence means negative aging, means you age slowly, and it is, the process is so slow that it is very difficult for us to even judge that this is going on. So I told you about the gist of the passage, that this passage was about selfishness shown by these organisms, and they care about themselves. They are not worried about, concerned about generation next. So, but human beings, we have got different story. We all are sentimental, emotional. We have got brains. We are, when it comes to evolution, we are much higher than these organisms. So we cannot be totally selfish. So 86 question is very, yeah, curious case of Benjamin Button. So it is about. So I've already explained this to you, that we are not selfish. So answer would be, in this case, C. We cannot identify with organism that favors self over offspring. So why, Bhavya, it is about why do humans have difficulty accepting the existence of negative senescence. He has explained this. It is not that we cannot document it, because we can give responsibility to other also. Not that our lifespan is short in order to document this, but at least whatever lifespan we have, we still can document it. Passage is not about documenting this, and that's why this hasn't been raised in the passage itself. Outside the passage, this could have been correct. A passage is about that why come, how come we are not so comfortable with this particular shown by. Okay. Yes, in the last paragraph, I think, Bhavya, you just go and scan last paragraph again. Last two paragraphs, you will find answer to this particular question. Am I clear? So Amrita, you marked first. Human believe that senescence is inescapable. We cannot say with surety. The passage was about how come they survive, and they found it. The team of scientists found this to be very, very interesting. That's a reason. So third is actually what we follow, in contrast to what is followed by these microorganisms. That's why third is better than first. First is very philosophical. Yes, it is written in the passage. So what is common to the trio of theories that were fashionable to explain the phenomena of aging? Now this is again pretty direct question I picked up just for the sake of, if you read all the theories, you will find genetic factor to be common among these three of them. So what is common was genes. Fourth option to this. Now again grammar based question, guys. This given below sentences that if I'm correct, we have to pick up the incorrect ones. And 90. So Preeti, first of all, you need to clear your fundamentals first related to critical reasoning. We should be very clear about how come strengthening is done or weakening is done, what are facts, what is an inference, what is an assumption, and what points I should keep while picking up while answering to inference based questions. And first of all, the step number one is you need to clear your fundamentals. Second is, I don't know if you are facing technical problems or non-technical stuff you are facing. Understanding part is missing a little bit, or the technical part is missing. If it is technical, revise your concepts and visit and watch our videos based on these areas. And Third, if you are making silly mistakes, if you are not able to understand, then try to first of all analyze that why you are not able to understand the questions. If it is something to do with vocabulary, then practice a lot. Something to do with your focus, then practice a lot. And if it is technical, then you need to revise the concept again. I think you will always find yourself confused between two options. If it is so, then do not rely only on your memory. I've told this so many times. Do not rely only on memory. Go back to the passage and try to search for the right answer while answering inference based question or what can be inferred based question. Analyzing the question. So it is about something to do with technique. So make sure that you visit and practice a lot of questions based on this. So question number 90 is based on grammar, and in 90 we have got readers in the past seem to have been most patient than readers of today. More patient. We are comparing two set of people. It has to be more. It cannot be most. Sometimes we come across such an easy question that is very difficult for us to believe that question. This is the question which is this is a topic which has generally given me scary nights. So A is wrong. So answer could be A is wrong. So answer is either 1 or 2. Yes. So you all have become very smart. A, D and E. In D, what was the mistake? But some of the novels that suffer from these defects. It has to be these. Yeah. Great, guys. So let's move ahead. Now again, very silly, boring, very lengthy paragraph. It talks about empiricism. Empirical means whatever we see, observe. It talks about empiricism. It's a little philosophical paragraph. I would recommend that if you are totally tired while taking an exam, if you are totally tired, completely exhausted, not able to understand whatever you're reading, my advice would be that do not attempt question based on such a difficult stuff. It is highly likely that you will get, and most likely I would say that you will get the answer to these questions wrong. So make sure that whenever you read any RC, you have to be a little more alert, because you need your attention span to be longer, and you have to be a little more alert than usual. So it is about empiricism, it is about reductionism, it is about hallucination. So okay, it was summary based question. Now coming out of the summary based question. So guys, generally what I tell you about the summary is that in summary we should be able to cover up the main idea. That is what exactly we teach you while teaching you RCs, reading comprehension. So you need to go through this very carefully whenever you come across summary based question. And summary means sum up. Sum up means you should include the major points or the main points. So yes guys, the answer to this was, I think this was moderate in terms of, yes, all of you got this question correct. Third, the problem inherent in classical empiricism is of generalization can be solved by looking at all observation as a part of bigger system. Yes, absolutely fine. This was an easy question. Yes. Okay. Last paragraph I think was based on medicine or medical sciences. They are practiced in US. It is taught about, it highlighted the doctor's aversion to this variation and how author is stressing that variation should be allowed. Variation in giving treatment or deciding the treatment given to be given to patient. So variation, he has highlighted, he has put this word variation under inverted commas, means author is not at all in favor of silly variations, or doctors generally do not favor their variation because they've been bound by the laws and they cannot move away, deviate from whatever has been mandated by the medical science is there. So ultimately saying that variation, they're so strict and narrow when it comes to changing medical treatment, even line of treatment. They will not go for, even if that stipulated line of treatment is not benefiting the patient. So passage, I would say moderate. Questions a little tricky. So question accepted from do not homogenize healthcare. Homogenize means it should vary from person to person. He has given 2 or 3 examples that how come a drug recommended by doctors for blood pressure to be given to old age people generally harm them rather than benefiting them. He has given one beautiful example also. So under what condition is standardization recommended by the author? It is standardization is recommended, means homogenization is only recommended when this medicine is tested and it would be beneficial to all and everyone under all kind of circumstances. Then author is no doubt is in favor of standardization or homogenization, otherwise he is not at all in favor of homogenization. And if you understand this very simple plea given by the author here, the answer to this question was 3, where evidence is unanimous. Otherwise it says that things vary from person to person and it cannot be same drug given to everyone irrespective of their bodily status, age, health, etc., etc. So third, I think. Okay, I think the last few lines. Okay, last question. Adish, you were asking about misfit 1. Now how to handle misfit 1? First of all, you need to practice a lot these questions. Secondly, no doubt sentence rearrangement tricks are applicable to even these questions. But point is that we should try to understand the essence or the ideas presented or the themes presented in these sentences. We should try to link the sentences with the theme in them rather than just by keyword or opening or concluding sentences. The tricks we teach you to solve parajumble questions. So simply we should be able to understand the themes or central theme in these sentences. One particular sentence which is termed as misfit will lie a little outside, not far away from these 3 sentences, a little outside from these 3 sentences grouped together. So that's how we solve, but point is that you have to practice a lot these questions, and do not think that just simply by applying sentence rearrangement techniques we can solve these questions. Otherwise you will find 2 sentences grouped together, 2 sentences grouped together. So the misfit one, the odd one will not be so odd that it will shine totally different from or completely different from other 3. It cannot be all rasgulla and one dhokla. So can be again taken out easily. So you need to understand the themes or the central theme in 3 sentences which are to be grouped together, and one will lie little outside. In this case also, rest all are talking about privations. Privation means hard times or difficult times, and one is talking about prosperity. So second was out here. Am I clear? Adish, you asked me this. Yes, Adish, if you are here. Yes, Adish, it is reverse engineering required. So, Bhavya, question number 99, I think you were confused regarding opener. Opener in this case was, the answer to this question was option 3, and opener in this case was 99 question. Opener in this case was, I think, D, 4th sentence. It is about how come, see, opener should be in parajumbles. We need to take care of this particular fact that we should always move from general to specific. Whenever you have got 2 sentences which is more general in comparison to the other sentence, the more general sentence would be an opener in this case. So D was an opener in this case, and there's only one choice. Preeti, question number 100. Okay, in 100, 1, 3, 4 can be linked. because they are talking about adversity or privations or hardships, and second is talking about prosperity. So way opposite, therefore odd. Am I clear, Preeti? So time has come to wind up this session because I have to take one more class. Bhavya, your question number 92nd. Come to me anytime and you can ask. Let me check if I got the time. 92nd was an easy question. In this case, B was an opener. So answer was C, but still I'm running short of time. It is already 6:16. So Bhavya, when you come next time, you can ask me because you belong to this place only. So the time has come to, okay Bhavya, have I answered your 100 this question? 99th I think we have answered. Okay, so time has come to wind up the session, guys. So I have to take one more class and see you next time, and we'll pick a few questions to discuss few things related to them, and that will help you. My point is that I'm not able to, why I do not solve the entire RC, because there's no point. If I pick a one RC, it will take entire 45 minutes or 1 hour. So whenever it comes to explanation. So the time has come to wind up this session. See you next time. Stay cheerful, be smiling, be focused, stay calm, and enjoy your life, and all the best. See you guys next time. Bye.